Hi guys, it's Miss Trejo, and I wanted to do a video on multiplying fractions since that is the thing that you guys have been working on this week. And just in case you still have any questions or you're a little confused, I hope this video will help you solve those problems and complete your work. So the first thing we're going to do is look at when should you multiply fractions? Well, when should you multiply in general? And do you guys remember every time we were in class and we would read a problem, I would ask you, do we have a total? Because if we had a total, then we knew that the only math operations we can do were either to subtract or divide. But if we were looking for a total or we had to find our total, then our only math operation options were adding and multiplying. So whenever a question is asking you to find a total, then you already know that you need to multiply. Also, when you are taking a part of a whole, and I'm going to show you what this looks like in an example in a little bit. But first, we're going to start with an example of when the question is asking you to find a total. So it's going to be very important for you guys to read the question carefully, okay? So the problem that we have here says Brenda walked 2/3 of a mile each day for 2 full weeks and a day. Okay, how far did she walk in all? Well, I know that she walked 2/3 of a mile each day. So that's an important piece of information that you would either underline or circle. And she walked 2 full weeks and a day. So that's also important because not only did she walk 2 full weeks, she walked an additional day after that. So the question is asking me, how far did she walk in all? Well, if each day she walked 2/3 of a mile for one day, then she walked 2/3 of a mile for another day, 2/3 of a mile for the third day, and 2/3 of a mile for the fourth day. And we can continue on until we complete the 2 full weeks, which we know that 1 week has 7 days. So 2 full weeks will be 14 days plus that extra day that she walked. That means that she walked for a total of 15 days. So we can continue adding 2/3, 2/3, 2/3 15 times. But when we're adding repeatedly the same numbers, we know that that's the same thing as multiplication. Multiplication is the same thing as repeated addition. So to make it easier for us, we're going to multiply. Now, what two pieces of information am I going to multiply? Well, I know that she walked 2/3 of a mile for 2 full weeks and a day. And we already said that 2 full weeks is 14 days plus one extra day, that's 15. Okay, I already know that I cannot multiply a whole number by a fraction. So in order to turn this whole number into a fraction, I simply put it over a 1. Okay, anytime you have a whole number, you guys know that you just need to put it over a 1 to turn it into a fraction. So now we're ready to multiply, and we're just going to multiply across. So first, 2 times 15, that gives me 30. So my numerator is going to be 30. Oops. And now I multiply my denominators. 3 times 1, that gives me 3. Okay. So now I look at this fraction and my answer. I got 30 over 3. But there's something going on in this fraction right here. This fraction is called improper fraction because my numerator is greater than my denominator. So anytime that your numerator is greater than your denominator, you have an improper fraction. So I know that 30 over 3 is an improper fraction. So in order to make this improper fraction, turn it into a mixed number or simplify it, I need to divide. So what do I divide? My numerator, 30, I divide it by my denominator, 3. So 30 divided by 3. Whoops. So now, I already had the answer there because this one's easy peasy lemon squeezy. So now what I want to know, or what I want to find out is, by dividing, is how many times can I take 3 pieces out of 30? Well, how can I find that? Well, I can just do my T-chart, and my T-chart here is going to look different, guys, from the T-charts that I have you write on your papers. Okay, it's just because I'm doing it on the computer. So I need to do my T-chart in order to find how many times I can take 3 pieces out of 30. So I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30, and I stop. I stop because I found the exact dividend that I have, 30. So now I'm going to count how many times I can take 3 pieces out of 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that tells me that 30 divided by 3 is 10. So Brenda walked 2/3 of a mile each day for 2 full weeks and a day. How far did she walk in all? 10 days. So now I'm just going to go back here and I'm going to write Brenda walked 10 miles. Now, guys, I'm going to go on to our next example. When you are taking a part of a whole. So another time that you need to multiply is whenever, or multiply fractions, is whenever you're taking a part of a whole. And this example is going to show you what that looks like. So Mario's mom baked 1 dozen cupcakes. Mario took 1/6 of them to school for snack. How many cupcakes did Mario take to school? Well, I know that Mario's mom baked 1 dozen cupcakes. So I'm going to underline that, or in this case highlight, because that's important information. And I know that Mario took 1/6 of them to school so he can eat it as his snack. Now the question is asking me, how many cupcakes did Mario take to school? And I know that some of you may think that you already have a total here because it says that we have 1 dozen cupcakes. And yes, we know how many cupcakes we have in total, but look at the question. That's why I said that it's very important for you to read the questions carefully so you guys won't get confused. The question is asking you, how many cupcakes did Mario take to school? So the question is asking you to find a total because you do not know how many cupcakes Mario is taking to school. And remember, guys, dividing also represents creating equal groups. And in this case, we're not creating equal groups, okay? So I don't want you to get confused because it says here that they baked 1 dozen cupcakes, okay? And you may think that that's your total. The question is very important. It's asking you how many. So it's asking you for a total. How many cupcakes did Mario take to school? So in this case, guys, you are still looking for a total. So I know that Mario's mom baked 1 dozen cupcakes. So what makes a dozen? Well, I know that a dozen is composed or made of 12. And in this case, we have 12 cupcakes. And I know that out of this whole, or out of these 12 cupcakes, Mario took 1/6 of them to school so he can eat it as a snack. So in order to find how many cupcakes Mario took to school, I'm going to have to multiply since I am taking a part of a whole. I'm taking 1/6 out of this whole. So 12 times 1/6. And remember, guys, we cannot leave our whole number. We have to turn it into a fraction, and you simply do that by putting it over a 1. So now I'm ready to multiply. 12 times 1 gives me a numerator of 12. Whoops. And 6 times, or 1 times 6, or 6 times 1, same thing, will give me a denominator of 6. So now, in this case, I have 12 over 6. And just like in the previous problem, 12 over 6 is an improper fraction because my numerator is greater than my denominator. So I already know that 12 over 6 is an improper fraction. So what do I need to do in order to simplify this improper fraction? I have to divide. So I need to divide my numerator by my denominator. So 12 divided by 6. So in order to find my answer, I just need to find out how many times can I take 6 pieces. How many times can I take 6 pieces out of 12? Well, I'm going to do my t-chart just like in the other problem. So 6, 12, and I'm going to stop right there because I already have my same dividend in my t-chart. So now I'm just going to count how many times could I take 6 pieces out of 12? Well, 1, 2. So my answer, guys, is 2. So how many cupcakes did Mario take to school? Mario, whoops, transparent. Mario took 2 cupcakes to school to eat as a snack. Okay? So remember, guys, read the question carefully. If it's asking you how many cupcakes or how many, if you're looking for a total, you still need to multiply. Now, for our last problem. Okay, this is the last problem or example that we have. And it says, Ms. Trejo ordered some pens from Amazon. The pack had 36 pens. Out of the 36 pens, 1/4 did not work. 1/4 of the pens, let's add that. So out of the 36 pens, 1/4 of the pens did not work. How many pens from the pack did not work? Whoops. Okay, so now I know that the pack had 36 pens. So there was 36 pens in the pack that I ordered. And 1/4 of those pens did not work or did not write. And the question is asking me how many pens from the pack did not work. So yes, you may think that you have a total because it's saying that you have 36 pens, but it's asking you how many pens from the pack did not work. And that is something that we do not know, or a total that we don't know. Therefore, that is why we're having to multiply. So I know that there's 36 pens in the pack, and 1/4, and I'm going to put my 1 under the 36 because remember, we always have to turn our whole numbers into fractions. So I will do that. And I have 1/4 of these 36 pens not working. So I'm going to multiply my numerators. 36 times 1 gives me 36. And I'm going to multiply my denominators. 4 times 1 gives me 4. So again, guys, I have here an improper fraction because my numerator is greater than my denominator, 36 over 4. So in order to simplify this improper fraction, I'm going to have to divide. And what am I going to divide? Well, I'm going to divide 36 by 4. So I want to know how many times I can take 4 pieces out of 36. So in order to find that out, or in order to complete my division problem, I'm going to have to do my T-chart, just like I did in the previous problems. So I'm going to do my T-chart, or the times tables of 4. So I have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, and 36. And I'm going to stop right here because I have reached the same number in my T-chart as my dividend. So now what I'm going to do is count how many times I skip count or have to multiply in order to get to 36. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my answer is 9, guys. So now I'm going to come here. How many pens from the pack did not work? So there were 9 pens in the pack that did not work. Okay, so remember, it's very important for you to really understand and read the question, what it's asking you to do. So guys, just don't forget that if you're looking for a total, then your only options are either to add or multiply.